and gentlemen, turn your speakers up. It's time for the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Turn up the bass. A podcast discussing all things AEW and WWE. Oh yeah! Let's meet the hosts. First, a man hailing from the hub city in Indiana. He goes by @TooSweetKyle on Twitter. The host, Kyle Gagliardi. And her co-host, hailing from the Valley of Lake Tahoe. He goes by @JimTuck89 on Twitter. Jim Tucker. And last but not least, hailing from the cornfield somewhere in Indiana, the full-time part-timer, Ian Garavaglia. Turn up the bass. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram @PodOnTheMark.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Mr. OTM, Kyle Gagliardi, and one of my co-hosts is my good friend Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Tucky!
What's going on, Kyle? You and I back in the saddle and joined by one happy Ian @Ian Garavaglia. Sup, dog?
What's up, dog? Tuck, I don't know if you missed it, but last week I got an upgrade on my intro. I was actually somebody's great friend last week on the podcast. Great friend. He actually went, no, he goes, you can't be my good friend, so you'll be my great friend. So I think that might be an improvement, but I'm not the one counting, but I have actually written it above my bed, and I see it every single day.
I apologize, Tuck, because I call you a good friend and I called him a great friend. Mm-hmm. I still view you as a great friend as well.
Wasn't going to bring it up, but
I figured I'd get that out of the way. But Tucky, how the hell are you, man?
Bro, snow day here in Nevada. So no school today. Woke up, got the shoveling done by 6:30 a.m. You know, I was already awake. So
you're always
we hit it.
Really.
Good workout, just kind of laying low, you know. Now we're in wait and see season, 15 days till the due date, so we'll see what's going on.
Ooh-wee. Ryan Vogus in the chat acknowledging the House of Gags. You love to see it, Vogus. Throw your ones up, appreciate it. Robbie Collins is also here. Hello, he says. Robbie, thanks for stopping by. We missed you, and of course, so is Dirk Vogus, the man that brought Ryan into this world. Ian, I asked Tucky how he's doing, so I got to ask you the same thing. What's new, man?
Same thing every week. Came home after work, took a nice little fat nap, and I'm awake.
Do you nap every day after work?
So my issue is I stare at a computer screen for 8 hours, and my eyes are just... I would rather sit at a desk and just stare at a wall for about an hour.
You'd rather be in a cubicle?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I hate talking to people. I don't want to talk to people.
Well, you know you're talking to hundreds, potentially, of people right now.
No, I could not imagine talking to people, especially.
Says the podcaster.
I can't explain it. I'm not sure why it happens like that, but that's just me.
Vogus confirmed big nap guy. He said no nap shame in this chat. Vogus, I won't shame you because I know you're waking up at like 3 a.m. probably to get to your route, so... Completely understandable. Ian, I'm sure you're not waking up before 5, am I correct?
No, definitely not. It's just the computer thing. It like stresses my eyes. I would rather stare at the back of my eyelids.
Robbie's a nap guy too. Tuck, you probably won't be able to get much sleep at all in a couple weeks.
I feel like I'm going to become a nap only guy. Like any kind of sleep I get is in a nap capacity. So yeah, we'll sit back, relax, and strap it down.
Absolutely. Shout out to Hawk Harrelson. I love that saying right there. Boys, before we get into the main event, I guess you could say, we only really got one show topic for tonight. Don't forget, everybody, that we have some great merch, including the sweatshirt that I'm currently wearing, This is not the actual one that you would see on the site. This was a fuck up, but I'm still wearing it because it looks good on camera. But you can get yourself some main event merch, OTM merch, the honorary Mark t-shirt. I might have to get myself another one because that's how good that t-shirt is. Go to the onthemarkwrestlingpodcast.com. All proceeds, of course, go to the show. Ian, if the listeners don't know about the Main Event Wrestling Network, you see the emblem in the corner, you see the socials down below, and you see my hoodie. Tell them what's going on at the Main Event Wrestling Network.
Yeah, we got a bunch of guys joining still. We got some bloggers going at the same time. Every single week, it's a bunch of wrestling content just pumping out all in one location, one YouTube channel, one website. If you want to read wrestling, if you want to listen to us talk about wrestling with podcasts such as us, we're trying to bring in people that are celebrating wrestling and obviously critiquing it at the same time. But Main Event Wrestling Network, just a whole conglomerate of a bunch of people, content creators, and we are looking for people like you. We're looking for a lot of people, a lot of editors. So if you are looking to make content, don't know how to do it, want advice, come to us. We're here to talk it out.
We're your people. Slide in the DMs, baby. We can make it happen. And that's kind of what happened here with Chris. Chris, the podcast dad, stopping by from the Wrestling Junkies. He said, looks fantastic, talking about the merch. I know he's going to have to get himself some merch. Those boys are grinding over there today. They had their own podcast, they're guests on another podcast, and they have an interview all in one night. Tucky, would you be capable of doing all that in one night?
Yeah, if I had like 4 days off after it. You just got
a little vacation.
Yeah, you just got to front load it, and then you just got to schedule the rest,
And this guy is a father of two, the podcast dad. So
that's
mad respect
right there. Yes,
exactly. Throw your ones up. Robbie said the blogs on the Main Event Wrestling Network are fantastic. Yes, they are really good reads. So make sure you're following us at mainevent_net, and you can check out those blogs and all the great content that we got going on there at the network. But boys, before we get into our 2024 predictions, because 2024 just got underway about a week ago, there has been some Twitter stuff going on per usual in the wrestling community, and of course it involves Tony Khan. The CEO of All Elite Wrestling is in the headlines once again. If you haven't seen the news, you're probably not on social media, but basically he tweeted out of nowhere about Jinder Mahal not being on TV for a calendar year and not getting a single win and being put into a title scene, basically clapping back because Tony got a lot of criticism for putting Hook into his world title scene after really not accomplishing much, but he went on to say that he has a 28-1 record, yada, yada, yada. All in all, Tuck, we have seen Tony Khan do this before, but this time it seemed to get a lot more traction than it usually does. Is there a specific reason why? And obviously, this has to be a bad look for AEW.
What a ding-dong. Like, all he did... just a knucklehead. The only thing he did was put fuel and heat onto Jinder Mahal, right? Like, he just added to it, and now I want to see Jinder Mahal come out again and get such a warm welcome, I think, right? So when I look at it, I view Tony as a fragile man, an insecure being, and he feels the need. He feels the need to defend his product, maybe because he feels it's inferior as well. I don't know. There's something about it where, I don't know. He's the head of a company and he's just popping off.
Yeah, kind of like what you were saying. Chris is saying free pub for the dub, talking about free publicity for the WWE. That's exactly what that is. You don't see Triple H tweeting about competition unless they're working together. I'm not going to ask why is it okay for Tony to do it, because I don't think it is, but why do you think he is just putting that out there into the public?
I mean, it really is just, it's insecurity. It's like a small dog barking at a big dog. He won't do anything about it. He'll just keep yapping. And it sucks because you know me, I am a AEW guy. I've said that many times. I've said that before. And it's really tough when you see the leader and owner of the promotion that you genuinely love talking shit when it's like, dude, read the room, man. I will say this, credit to him. He did get Jinder Mahal over in 2024. So, hey, got to give it to the man. Very impressive.
I'm not giving him anything.
There's even people talking about Jinder Mahal taking one of the titles. I'm just saying. That's impressive. So, if only he could book his women's division like he's booking Jinder Mahal right now.
Hey, we're getting there. We talked about it. They're starting to make the baby steps with the women's division a little bit. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think out of all of this, Jinder Mahal's the winner. Maybe Hook too. It was funny to see Hook or Taz just say Hook because Jinder was like, "Who the fuck is Hook?" And he just goes Hook. that was it. Tuck, did you even see that Bischoff and him were getting into it too?
Yeah, I saw the exchange on that as well, and yeah.
When you have two guys like that, especially Bischoff, he's always been known as a guy on Twitter. If he could find any way to get himself some outreach and look towards himself and his content, he's gonna do it. That's just Eric Bischoff and himself. I just want to say though, it's like I genuinely feel awful. Like it, especially the fact you're throwing Hook under the bus. What, he's 22, maybe, just getting into the business, and you're throwing him under the shade like this. Like, I get it. You want to give attention to your guy in Hook, in Taz's son, but it's at the same time, that doesn't sit right with me. That was the main issue I had. I don't know if even Hook even saw anything on Twitter, but I really hope he didn't.
Hook hasn't tweeted since he created a Twitter account, and he's following one person, and it's AEW. He doesn't even follow his dad. I just went down a wormhole of Twitter threads with Bischoff, Hook, Taz, Jinder Mahal, and then Jinder ends up deleting the tweet. It was quality entertainment for us fans, but at the end of the day, Tony Khan just looks like a freaking clown. And that's all I really got to say about that. Robbie goes on. He says, I think Tony is starting to lose it a bit. He really is just taking shots at anyone he wants. Starting to lose it, Tuck? I feel like he was starting to lose it a couple years ago.
Yeah. I don't know that he's ever really had it, frankly. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Somebody needs to restrict his phone usage, kind of like you do to your kids when you don't want them on the apps too much. Might be a good idea for Tony. Or just have somebody run your socials. Just hire someone to be your social media manager. Be a professional, focus, stay in your lane, and improve your product. Don't worry about what WWE is doing.
And I will say this, too. I think they're starting to really recover ever since the whole CM Punk kerfuffle that happened.
Are they?
I genuinely had the feeling. I mean, I know that was biased with their homecoming game or show coming back.
The ratings were bad.
Which is weird. That surprises me because I genuinely enjoyed the entire show last night. And I was texting you last night, and that wasn't me just being like messed up, I was drunk or anything. Like, I was actually locked in. The 2 hours flew by for me, and it felt like an actual AEW show.
I would agree with you that the show definitely flew by for me as well, but it was like I tweeted out, a lot of chaos just going on in that, and there wasn't really much flow to it. Tuck, were you able to catch Dynamite last night?
Nope.
Okay, so you can't give us your opinion on it. But we were on two different sides of the spectrum because we were texting throughout. He was loving everything. I'm just like, a lot of dots aren't connecting, and it feels like they're trying to jam a lot into a little. And,
I will say this really quick.
It was a hard watch for me.
I know you don't want to stick on to AEW last night too much in a recap. I just want to say this. It felt like, kind of to defend my point, it felt like a preview to what 2024 could entitle and kind of giving a catch up on where things are, where the titles are at, which wrestlers are hot right now, and kind of getting a feel for what the AEW, I guess, universe or whatever they call themselves, just fans, what their feel of the product is. That's what it felt like to me, especially with the Samoa Joe. I know there's a lot of people going after the title, which I don't completely agree with in that whole segment, but
hey, don't forget, when you want a challenge for the title in AEW, you got to go nose to nose with another brother.
I thought Swerve and Hangman kissed. I ain't gonna lie.
I really thought so. I wanted somebody in the background to just go kiss.
Do it.
Yeah, you won't. No balls. Yeah, I know they got some committees going on in AEW. Chris says need a social media committee, and they might. And Robbie said he'll run Tony's socials. Totally will not take shots at CM Punk. Yeah, I'm sure they would trust you, Robbie. Just make sure you send in your application very soon. But I think that's enough talk about Tony Khan and his Twitter activity. The main reason we got together tonight was to give our 2024 wrestling predictions for both WWE and AEW. And we reached out to the OTM universe, and they gave us a lot of feedback. So Shout out to those that did give us feedback because we definitely got a lot to dive into. I think a good idea might be to say up or down or smash or pass to these takes. You got any term or verbiage that we could use maybe to say that we agree or disagree for this, make a segment out of it?
Banger or I don't know the negative word.
Banger or bust.
Banger or bust. I love that. Let's do that. So, you guys, were you able to come up with a few predictions for yourself?
I got a few just kind of off the top of my head. One revolves around Cody Rhodes, and I think it's a shot in the dark, but it's something I would like to see.
Oh, so this is funny. Robbie said Tinder Wrestling Edition. I don't know if Tuck remembers this, but on Family Divided, we used to have a segment called Tinder Bio of the Week.
Yeah.
And we would swipe left or right. Right means yes, left means no. So we kind of did something like that in the past on a podcast, but we're going to do banger or what did you say again?
Bust.
Banger or bust. We'll get it. Alright, Ian, sorry to cut you off, but I want to get into the listeners' wrestling predictions first. So, banger or bust, let's go to Kyne's comment here first, and Tucky, I'll let you respond to it. He says that AEW goes into liquidation in 2024. Banger or bust?
That is a bust. There is too much money in the Khan family for them to go into liquidation. And I don't think one calendar year is long enough for them to fully fold. Tony Khan is nothing if not passionate. So misguided, maybe misdirected at times, sure, but like Revolution's a sellout. So there is still fervor for the product. So I'm gonna go bust.
Yeah, and I think as a whole, as a podcast, we don't want AEW to go out of business because it creates a little bit of balance and competition throughout all of professional wrestling. And Robbie goes on to say that kind AEW hate. Why am I not shocked? Yeah, if you listen to OTM, you know Kine is an AEW hater. But Ian, banger or bust? I think I know your answer.
It's a bust. I genuinely don't see AEW going out of business for a long, long time. I could see them taking a route of Impact, or I guess TNA now, of downgrading. I think their roster is in a good spot. Definitely not this year. Obviously, I don't think that's even in the realm of reality, in all honesty. And AEW fans aren't going anywhere. They're very loyal.
Yeah, all 759,000 of them or whatever turned into Dynamite last night. I think those are really your loyal ones, and I guess me and you are loyal then, Ian, so high five to that. But this is a bust. I know they lost about $30 million or something like that last calendar year, but that doesn't mean that the writing's on the wall and that this company is about to fold, so...
They have a TV deal coming up of some sort. The product will get picked up in one capacity or another. Yeah, I'm not sure, but you know,
I will say this: TBS and TNT, I absolutely cannot stand. I get it;
Same.
They are the homegrown. Their apps. I just want to say that I'm sure I am very minuscule in how I watch AEW, but the apps don't work. When I try to stream AEW, it does not work. Even if I could pull it up on my phone, it'll stay like this. It'll screen lock in this vertical way. And it's the small things that piss me off and make me not want to watch every single week the 3 shows.
You sound like an old man, but you're the youngest guy on the panel.
I don't get it.
Tell them how you really feel, brother.
It's annoying.
Or you could just watch on TV like the rest of us.
Yeah, but sometimes I want to lay in my bed and just watch. You know, I'm not going to bring my TV there.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Give you that. All right, so we're going to rotate from the listeners' takes to our takes. If you got any, go ahead, Ian or Tuck, whichever you wants to go first. If you got a prediction for 2024.
Ian.
Okay. All right.
I might have something later, but I have nothing.
Gotcha.
This might piss some people off, but now that I think about it more, there's no reason to put the title on Cody Rhodes. I don't think Cody Rhodes wins a title. If anything, he wins it later, but not as a face, but as a heel. I think the story is written on the wall. The story doesn't get finished at WrestleMania. Maybe later on, but just in a different persona. But that's kind of like more of a fantasy booking situation. That's why I said it's kind of off the wall. But I think it's relatively okay.
And Robbie seems to be a big fan of that idea. One other guy calling Ian the GOAT. It's 2 weeks in a row that he has been called a GOAT. But banger or bust, Tuck, on Ian's prediction for 2024. Cody doesn't win and turns heel.
Bust.
Get fucked, Ian.
Just because I want him to win.
Okay, yeah. I would not, stop watching wrestling or stop being a fan of Cody Rhodes if this were to happen, Ian. So I'm still going to say a bust because, like Tuck, I want it to happen. Mm-hmm. But it's not the worst prediction. I could definitely see them going that route. And Robbie said it's a banger after banger right there.
I was going to say, it's just I think Cody's in a great spot. I don't really see him needing to win the title. There's a lot more other guys that sound better with a match
like
at
who?
WrestleMania. Go down the list.
There's only one guy that sounds better than Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, and it's The Rock.
It's The Rock, yeah. But I mean,
there ain't nobody else, right, Tuck? There ain't nobody bigger than Cody than The Rock.
No.
Gender.
Bust! Right away, I was ready for that one. All right, let's go to the Turnbuckle Talk Zones. They agreed on this prediction, so I lumped them together. So it's Robbie and Kine. Banger or bust, Tuck? Roman will still be champion by the end of 2024.
Bust. Because Cody's going to win it.
It always comes back to Cody, doesn't it? Isn't that the funny thing about it?
For me, I'm just pulling for the guy.
He's the best man.
I wouldn't be this. Totally wouldn't shock me though. You know what I mean? We're just gonna get trolled, and Roman's just actually gonna be him forever. Fuck.
I mean, but do they really care that much about breaking Bruno's record? Or would it be Hogan's? Would it be Hogan's record at the end of the year?
It would be Hogan's record end of the year.
Yeah.
He has to win at SummerSlam, I do believe.
Holy shit! And Robbie's gonna parlay that and say Roman will not lose his belt until 2025 at least.
Until 2025.
That's the same take. Yeah,
that's an agreement. Take. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. All right, banger or bust, Ian. Roman will still be champion by the end of the year.
I'm gonna go bust. I don't have a lot of explanation. I mean, basically the same thing I said. I think the roster is at a good spot that there's names there that could get an LA Knight type of match at a pay-per-view. Yeah. But yeah, this is going against my old take, but it would have to be Cody at Mania, but I don't
He's playing both sides of the fence. This man doesn't know what he wants.
That is what I'm saying. I said the other one was a far stretch. All
right, Ian, last time I'm asking you this question. You have to pick one match, and you can't have the other one. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns versus The Rock?
Where?
WrestleMania 40 main event. Can't have any...
Cody and Roman.
Who?
Or The Rock and Roman.
You sound like Erica.
I know, Cody and Roman.
You keep flip-flopping like Erica Marini over here. Shout out to Erica. She was on our OTMEs. Let's bring up Vogus's comment. He's got a live prediction. Wembley does under 50K ticket sales. I'm going to go busts because they easily got over that, I feel like, very quick.
For reference, the last update from WrestleTix was 11 days ago. They were at 38,000.
Yeah, it's a bust. Yeah. You're going to have Ospreay built up for a world title shot. At Wembley Stadium, I think they're going to be busting the 50K standpoint there.
I agree.
I'm having some internet issues over here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
You were out, but now you're back, and
Gotcha.
there was no issue.
Oh, okay.
I did a backflip.
I definitely believe that, and you probably got hurt too, right?
Yes, pulled a groin.
Ian realistically wants everyone as champion. Yeah, he's part of that Gen Z, right, where there's participation trophies for everyone.
He's had the title long enough. It's somebody else's turn. That's just how it's fair for everyone, and that's just how it is.
You. I'm glad somebody else sees it.
Go give the belt to Timmy now. He's got to have a reign for a month.
Roman always cheats when he wins, and that's not fair.
It's true. It's true.
Actually, I agree with that take. Banger. All right, I got a couple predictions. This might be my hottest prediction of them all, and I'm going to go there first. Drew McIntyre will be hashtag all elite by the end of 2024. Banger or bust, Tucky?
Bust.
You think he's staying?
I think they know what they have with Drew, and they're going to keep him around. I like the Drew and CM Punk stuff from Monday, close in my head. That's what I'm hanging my hat on.
That was good, Tuck, but I think there's a lot of top guys right now, and he's trying to be a top guy, and I just don't see him as a top 5 player right now in the WWE.
I'm going to also say bust. I'm glad you just said that. Not right now. Again, I think it's one character change away from really making it to the top. It's going to be a full-on heel turn, and I think he could be an absolute menace of a heel instead of that. He's still in that tweener stage. He really is. He's playing to the crowd. And hey, bring out Broken Dreams. Send that man to the moon.
Oh, love me some Broken Dreams. Robbie said that Drew has been fucked over in WWE. I would disagree with that. Last year's WrestleMania, he was in the best match of the year. Granted, he didn't win, but he was a part of it, and he did win a Royal Rumble, became WWE champion, and I feel like he's featured on TV often. Tuck, would you agree with what Robbie's saying down there?
I do think he's had a short straw because he carried them through COVID and hasn't really came back to that level, and I think he's deserving. Maybe change the last name from McIntyre to McInfire.
Print the T-shirts. That sounds like a great idea.
McIntyre.
Not talking about matches. Think he should have won a belt last year. Yeah, but which one? Seth's? I mean, it can't
Seth's
be Roman's.
Will be the only one, yeah.
Even though I could make a case that Drew could have easily beaten Roman Reigns at Clash at the Castle a couple years ago. We thought he had it, Ian. I remember watching that with you.
But I will say this, where would the product be now? If Drew was to win the title, hold it for a couple months probably after that? Yeah, it would have been a cool moment. It would have been an insane moment. Yeah, exactly. So, and then his reign wouldn't have felt as huge as Roman's feels now.
That's fair, but it would have been a big moment, that's for sure. All right, let's go to the listeners again. The Great Brown Hope, one of the bloggers from the Main Event Wrestling Network. Ian, I'll go to you first. AEW doesn't need Mercedes money. Mercedes needs AEW. Banger or bust?
Banger. It's a wordly strongly worded. That's it. Got it. Strongly worded comment, but it's pretty relative. She's lost all of her buzz. I know that she's hurt. I know she's injured, but I don't think it's necessarily needs AEW. She needs a signing to something, whether that's Impact. I don't think she's lost a lot of her pull in the whole free agent game right now. And I think every single product is at a very good standpoint. I mean, even TNA, they have the hype of the new rebranding.
Pay-per-view coming up this weekend, right? What is it called?
Yeah, Hard to Kill. It's first official pay-per-view as TNA, back as TNA.
Actually, I think it's the first official PLE. I think they changed the verbiage.
Oh, that's right. Yep, that is true.
Welcome to the club.
But yeah, I don't think AEW needs Mercedes. I genuinely don't. Because, look at your women's roster. You already have a bunch of stars in the making, and they're young. They're young stars. Would she help? Yeah, but she would help probably progress stars. I don't think she would be it would kind of be like a Saraya situation in just kind of there.
Not. Yeah, I sure hope not. Tuck, I'll go to you next. Banger or bust on
this is I think my answer to this one is yes. I think AEW does need Mercedes, and I think Mercedes also needs AEW. I think she kind of overvalues herself a little bit. I think that's why WWE was okay with letting her stay away. They did have conversations and couldn't come to something, and I think her number wasn't where they thought it should be. She didn't sell out the Civic in San Jose when she debuted for New Japan.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That was a 2,000 seat place, and that's where New Japan will be this weekend. Saturday, New Japan and Impact on the same day. I'm excited for that.
Wow.
One's in San Jose, one's in Vegas. I could go to both. I'm going to neither.
Right. What do you got going on?
Just waiting for the bait. We're just like we're chilling, because I would hate to go somewhere and then So we've got a great
imagine
situation.
being at New Japan. Go, we gotta go. Water broke.
I was about to say, imagine that would be it. That would probably be a first.
Okada delivers the baby. He's the Godfather now. The Okada father. I mean, come on.
That's
that's money right there, ladies and gentlemen.
No DQ. Well, Moxley's in a no DQ match. Maybe he
Get some blood on the baby.
Yeah. He kind of like christens it or something.
Let's move on.
the body of Mox. I can't keep it together. I swear we're sober, guys.
Mox, can you sign my baby?
Sure.
I cut the umbilical cord.
Oh, then your baby would definitely be bleeding.
The cutter comes out.
All right, let's try to bring this one.
We're back. Welcome back to the On the Mark Wrestling podcast. That last minute was just a couple guys being dudes.
Yeah, that's what we do around here. Sometimes it's not structured.
That was a shoot there.
Robbie's basically saying, I think what you were saying, Talk, it's a weird one. I don't think AEW needs Mercedes, but Mercedes doesn't need AEW either. Yeah. That's a great way of wording it. I'm going to say that the Great Brown Hope's take here is a bust. And I'm going to flip-flop it. I think AEW needs Mercedes. Because if you bring Mercedes Moné into the fold, sure, she could become similar to what Saraya is right now. But I don't think that's the way that they would use her. I think she would be on television every week, elevating that young talent. Because let's be honest, Sky Blue is getting a lot of TV time. I'm going to use her as an example. But her character change is just a different theme, wearing dark makeup. What else has changed? Her in-ring stuff's the same. I want Mercedes to bring that out of other women. Because I think character-wise, she would be the strongest character in AEW. But Mercedes really doesn't need AEW. Mercedes doesn't need anything. She should go to WWE, in my opinion, because that's where her star is going to shine the brightest. Mm-hmm. It is no longer Vince McMahon's WWE. That's where a lot of the friction came with Sasha in WWE. She's going to be with Triple H, and Triple H started NXT, and Sasha was a star in NXT. Sasha needs to come back home, show up at the Rumble. So I'm going to say bust to the Great Brown Hope here, but it was definitely an interesting one there. So shout out to him, and don't forget to check out the blogs on the Main Event Wrestling Network. Ian or Tuck, you guys got a prediction for yourself?
Tucky?
Nope.
All right, Ian, your floor.
I think it's pretty. It's low-hanging fruit. Swerve is AEW champion by the end of the year, if not throughout the end of the year. I don't know how long Samoa Joe's reign's going to last. I think we got a good insight to what could be in the future. I think Hangman and Swerve have something to let's conclude what they have going on, which I don't know why it's still going on. Swerve literally ended the feud by hanging the guy.
The Hangman.
Doesn't make any sense to me on how Hangman could come back from that. But anyway, Swerve, I really hope his star does not stop shining, because that dude is a stud. And every single time he walks out, it just screams star. And look at me.
His aura is incredible. The character growth in AEW for him has been tremendous. Obviously, he had Hit Row in WWE, which was good. I enjoyed Hit Row, especially with Swerve in it, but he's just taken that next step, Tuck. For me, this is a banger. Would you agree?
Can you repeat it again?
That Swerve will be AEW champion in 2024.
Oh, banger. Yeah, I think he's too hot. And they're in a position right now where, like, MJF was in the middle of a run and he was on a heater, and I think they were gonna play that out and ride that train as long as they could. When they got to that reason with him, he was banged up and injured and he needed some time off. That was a natural segue. And now I think you have that opportunity to shake the bag a little bit and pull out a few different options to see how it goes. Strike while the Swerve iron is hot.
Yeah, totally agree. And this might be the most for sure prediction that we have heard so far, because you could just see the writings on the wall. AEW knows what they have in Swerve Strickland. I don't think they're going to fuck this one up. I got another prediction for you, boys. The Creed brothers have multiple tag team title reigns in 2024. Banger or bust? Tucky. Sorry, I caught you mid-drink.
I think they could get the gold, but I don't know about multiple runs. There are still some strong tag teams in that division.
AOP now.
Well, you got the AOP,
DIY,
New Day, DIY,
Imperium,
Street Profits. Imperium. There's a lot of good tags. Alpha Academy. There are tag teams. So
Viking Raiders once Eric comes back.
And these compelling tag teams seemingly pop out of nowhere, a la Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens too. So I will say bang, not banger.
That's fair.
I think
to go off of this point, and I think that's why I predicted multiple reigns, is I have another prediction. The tag team titles split, and they are divided amongst each brand.
I don't know if I like that.
Really?
I like the feel of. I mean, I think it'll actually be conjoined. I think it becomes its own tag team title. There's no longer two belts. Because all in all, I mean, it's made the Judgment Day. That was their first titles besides Rhea's championship, I believe, right? Or was it Dom's that won the first?
I don't know exactly.
I was going to say question. I'm not sure the timeline, but anyway, it makes them feel special. It's not like they have
just one set.
Yeah, because differentiating the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles, they're at the same level because honestly, you see guys go back and forth between the brands.
Yeah, my thing is just like we just listed off maybe 8 tag teams right there that are very credible. And that's why I think it opens up more opportunity for your tag team division to flourish. And hell, you're looking at the Mighty Profits, that group. You're looking at AOP with Cross. Maybe trios titles are a thing.
I was gonna say that I think a trios title or like a faction title of some sort. Right. I don't know how they'd implement it, but WWE is really given into, because that's today's wrestling. Even in AEW, they really experimented it first with faction warfare, and that's what people like to see. It's all out warfare between two teams. Yeah,
no, and you can always have the blow off too, and like a War Games or Hell in a Cell kind of thing too. So. Yeah, maybe. Let's go back to the listeners' takes. Tucky, I'll let you take this one first. All WWE and NXT titles will change hands. And this is from Pat.
I think the one you have to look at is what the Roman problem. And because I think Roman will lose the title this year, I will say banger.
Hey, don't forget about Gunther, too. I don't know if it's a for sure thing that he loses the belt,
Don't forget about Rhea. I mean, who's going to win the title off of Rhea? I don't even know if that's going to happen ever. Genuinely.
Ooh, Robbie said bust. He says Roman and Gunther to keep their belts. Interesting. He also goes on to say...
I think Gunther climbs the card this year.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I love this comment from Robbie. He said Trio's title would be perfect. R-Truth, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest to win the belts.
God, R-Truth.
Live, laugh, love. The Judgment Day.
R-Truth is a gem.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta put him in. First ballot. All right, banger or bust, Ian. What do you think about Pat's prediction here?
I'm going to say bust because there's going to be that one title. I think the one that's strongest is Rhea, because I genuinely, when you look at the division... I see nobody beating her. Genuinely, I have a prediction. I will save it for later, but kind of contradicts what I'm saying right now. But Rhea,
you contradicting yourself again?
Just because it'll make sense later on. Judgment Day are extremely hot. Rhea Ripley is a leader, and I think that title really puts shine on her as a leader. Whether that's everybody else in the group losing their titles and her with the last title standing, I don't see her losing it right now.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill?
But we just don't know. Yeah, I was going to say we just don't know.
Jade Cargill and Bianca is my match for WrestleMania. Give it to me.
Too soon.
Maybe. I mean, that's fair, Tuck. I can see that.
I'm just sending storylines way further out than I used to because I think Triple H has a knack for a little. He has more patience. When Vince McMahon was pressing buttons, and Kevin Dunn is out too from that production angle. So, I push things a lot further out now because Triple H does the long game. I think
that's a good point. It seems like he's kind of reprogrammed the way that people think about the WWE and how they're going to book things. That's an excellent point, Tucky. Robbie said R-Truth's TikTok lives are even better. Yeah, I hopped into one of R-Truth's TikTok lives, and he's just like, people over there, what's up? And the comments are just I'm like, this guy is just one of my favorite people. Honestly, he is. I would love to meet R-Truth one day, but
I was
Pat,
gonna
I say this is a banger because I do think all titles are going to change hands.
That's interesting, and we just don't really know with that. That's
We
just
don't.
kind of guessing the wind.
Hey, these are predictions,
I just want to say this. It's kind of funny. The whole TikTok live comment brought this up in my memory bank. I watched Swerve have an Instagram live, and it was supposed to be some interview, and there's audio issues. It turned out to be really boring, and he wasn't talking to anybody. And so Daniel Garcia came into the live chat and said, "Hey, why'd your bro kick me in the nuts or something along those lines?" Made my night. It was hilarious.
Love it.
I love Daniel Garcia. He's hilarious. He had a good showing in their Continental Classic tournament too.
I was going to say, sorry, real quick, while we're on Daniel Garcia.
I was just going to say, we got a lot of listeners' predictions to get to.
Move on, go ahead.
Okay. Steve, SCW Steve, our friend over there, make sure you're subscribing to him. He says, Will Ospreay will become AEW champion at All In? Banger or bust, Tucky?
I say banger. I think he's going to be a big star for that. I don't think that's really a stretch, but I banger. It'll be
Is
a
that
great
too
match
soon
too.
though to put the strap on him?
No, people, a la Scott Hall when he came to WCW. You know who he is.
Right. That's fair. Okay. Banger or bust, Ian?
I'm gonna say bust. And it hurts for me to say. There was an interview with Will Ospreay as of last year, and he talked about where he was looking for in a company, and he made it very clear. And I hate to do this because it's kind of dims down the party, and it might not be true as of now when he signed with AEW, but he wanted to find a company a la NJPW that would allow him to go back home every single week, which is in Australia, or not Australia, where the fuck he's from, UK. And AEW's a really far journey, and putting a strap on him, if that's still the case, again, he might have completely changed his mind. He might be happy with leaving his family for a little while.
I don't think he signs if he's doing the home every weekend thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying is maybe they did come to an agreement with that. Maybe if we only do get a bi-monthly banger out of him, because that's AEW, they do that a lot with guys coming in
full time.
I completely agree, but I think that's just a reality of it. I'm going to say bust. I hate to say that.
I hate to say bust too.
I just looked it up. I'm sorry. This Will Ospreay is in the main event for New Japan.
Yeah.
At Battle in the Valley. Battle in the Valley is $20. TNA is $40.
Oh.
So you're saying go to Battle in the Valley?
And it's got a better card.
I know.
I think the
both.
Battle in the Valley has a better card.
That is a steal.
And that's where my dollars are going.
Oh, really?
Well, no, I'm talking about on pay-per-view.
Gotcha.
They're both on. Triller's winning. Triller TV, powered by Fight, is hosting both of those shows.
I got so confused when Triller charged me on my card one month when they made the change. I'm like, I didn't do that shit. Who's charging $5? Oh, it's Fight TV.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say bust though. Unfortunately, to me it's too soon. I think he's gonna have to build a little bit of momentum. And granted, he has flirted and been in and out with AEW, so people know him, but I think he needs to establish himself a little bit in AEW, kind of like Cody did at the beginning of his WWE run before he started chasing titles. So as much as a big moment it would be in Wembley, I'm going to have to go with a bust, Steve. We're going to go through the next ones a little quick. Kine says, AJ Lee enters the Rumble and only the Rumble. Ian, banger or bust?
Banger. Sign me up. I think that is perfect for AJ Lee. I don't think she wants to return to wrestling full time. I think she's pretty happy with what she's doing now. I believe she's just doing a bunch of acting, and I don't know what else she's doing on the side, but it's beyond the point. I think she's happy in her life, and I think just watching her hubby wrestle and come back into the wrestling promotion I think that's enough for her. But yeah, I would love to see her at the Royal Rumble.
I think we all would. And I'm going to say this is a bust, Kine, just because I do believe if she were to show up at the Rumble, it would kind of be like a Lita situation. You kind of just have her work a WrestleMania match with someone, or maybe she's just tagging with someone. Otherwise, I mean, it's a great take. I like this prediction, but I'm going to have to say bust. Tuck, what about you?
Banger.
Yeah.
That's all
I mean, you missed AJ Lee, right? That you weren't watching when AJ was around.
Correct, yeah.
She carried the women's division for probably 2 or 3 years. She was very, very good, and she really didn't have that long of a career. I got 2 more, or actually 3 more predictions of my own. I'm just going to rapid fire 2 of them. One of them is that Obafemi will be a late 2024 call-up. If you don't know who Obafemi is, he just won the North American title, cashing in his contract on Dragon Lee, and I think that says something. He won the breakout tournament, and he's already cashing in, and he's already a champion at the age of 22. This dude is a physically imposing dude. He's going to be on the main roster by the end of 2024. I also am going to give you an early Money in the Bank prediction. I think for the women's Money in the Bank, Dakota Kai is going to win that briefcase. Banger or bust?
Bust.
Okay. Yeah.
I just don't see Dakota Kai as a champion.
Really?
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
I disagree. I think she could be. I mean, a lot of people maybe would be saying the same thing about Io, and now Io's having this long title reign. It's been pretty good.
I would be here for a Dakota Kai Io program. I think I'd be into that though.
That's why my guess is Bayley wins the Rumble, Bayley faces Io, and then Bayley wins the title, and then you have Dakota who can cash in on Bayley. I think it's just long-term storytelling right there. What a talent Obafemi is, Robbie said. So good in the ring. Yeah, he's a stud. And he said, I don't see Dakota getting the briefcase yet. I think Chelsea Green would be a good name to keep an eye out for, too, for that Money in the Bank briefcase. But we have plenty of time to talk about that. Let's go to Robbie's comment. He said, we will see a Boogeyman appearance this year. Not sure what the infatuation is with the Boogeyman, but hey, shout out to the Boogeyman. I'm going to go with Banger just because I think it probably could happen.
It happens every single year, yeah. I'm going to say that really quickly.
It's just not a banger take. Like, it'll probably happen.
I will. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I have a lot of me stuff.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what he did in college?
No.
Wasn't he a football star?
No.
What did he do?
He was a shot putter. Shot put at Middle Tennessee State, won the Conference USA title, transferred to the University of Alabama, and he won the outdoor title. He was signed to WWE December 2021 in their first wave of next in line stars, NIL stars. Yes. So 2 years. He's been in development for 2 years, and he's already got gold. So
pretty good. Robbie just wants to see worms. Maybe he's got a worm fetish going on over there.
Ooh,
Nobody really knows. Boogeyman is weird.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
Let's go to Pat. He said CM Punk will not win a title this year. Tucky, banger or bust?
Banger. I think he's going to play the good boy role as part of. I do think he wants to be in the company and like ascend his stardom, a la Cody Rhodes. Cody still has not won a title, so I don't think CM Punk doesn't need it. Put him in compelling programs, and I just don't. Maybe the world heavyweight title.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe.
Before you go, Ian, I'm going to agree with Tucky. I'm going to say banger. I think this is all eventually leading to Punk turning heel. And the only way that Punk's going to turn heel is if he doesn't win that belt from Seth Rollins. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. He just starts spiraling. We get a couple feuds with him as a heel, and then he maybe can win it in 2025 because I believe he's on a multi-year deal.
You know what his gimmick change would be, right?
No.
CM Skunk.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that joke stunk.
Yep.
Pat, biggest banger. Robbie says they drag this out and play that I'm going to work my ass off for this role, and we will see him in 2025 win one. Similar to Cody Rhodes, like you were saying, Tuck. All right, Ian, banger or bust. CM Punk will not win a title in 2024.
I'm going to go the opposite route. I think, especially if Seth Rollins still has the title without losing it and regaining it till WrestleMania, I think Punk takes it away from him at one of the main events because you have to have one feel-good moment. Oh, you got to have one of the nights feel good, and that's going to be the first night, just like last year.
I know we talked about it numerous times, Tuck, but like the drastic difference of night 1 to night 2, the ending of both WrestleManias, it's like depression night 2 and just joyful energy all night 1.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster of emotion. Take me back.
Oh, I know, right? There's nothing like that. Nothing like that feeling at WrestleMania, and you're going to have to get to one of
Because
these
the
days.
best thing, like, we still never waited for a beer. You never waited for a beer. There were beer
It's
people
a
all
huge
over the
stadium.
place. So many people, so little wait for those beers. And, you just willingly pay $18-19. Give me, I'll have
But,
one.
Oh god.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was a good time.
Ideal.
I need to get back to WrestleMania, hopefully next year, because it's probably not going to happen this year. Robbie goes on to say that the best thing is Punk can be is the biggest heel, and I'm still going to want him to win. The Punk effect. Hey, the Punk fans are diehards. That's for damn sure. Robbie, who's in the chat and also gave us a take, he said Ludwig Kaiser will turn on Imperium. Banger or bust?
I go banger. I think like Ludwig is starting to get some shine. You know what I mean? He's starting to get some spotlight. And I could see him trying to branch off and do his own thing because he feels like he's carrying the weight of Imperium on his shoulders anyways. A Ludwig Gunther program. Okay.
That's something. I like where your head's at there. Ludwig Kaiser is to defeat the tribal chief. We will be there. No, we won't be there, Robbie. I won't be there. You'll be there in the fantasy world where you're thinking, but I won't. Ian, what do you think about Robbie's prediction here?
I'm going banger. The way it's stated, I think he gets more kicked out of Imperium. I don't think he turns on Imperium because he's kind of like that. He's like that son in the family that just wants to make his dad proud in Gunther. And I think he ends up getting kicked out of the house. Maybe his cousin from overseas in NXT at the moment, Ilya, maybe comes up and helps out.
Wait, they're cousins?
No, it was making like a. No.
Oh, okay. I thought you had. I believed it for a second.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Robbie, bust. Listen, I don't think Ludwig is the one turning on Imperium. I think Imperium's the one turning on Ludwig.
Yeah.
I think eventually Ludwig is going to be a baby face coming out of this because, let's be honest, he kind of has a baby face. He's an attractive man. He's got an 8-pack. I just think he'd be a very good guy. So
I was going to... But what about the Sami Zayn, I Am Rebellion kind of spiel where, like, I'm going to stick up for myself and I don't need you guys. But Gunther has to get bad. Like,
no, he's bad.
He's a bad man, but he has to get like mean.
He bullies him. It's the bully story.
He bullies Vinci more than he bullies Ludwig. He trusts Ludwig.
I would too. Vinci's a bitch.
Hey, I got to stand up for my bald brothers, my bald Italian brothers. All right, that's my guy for obvious reasons. Here we go. A couple more predictions here from our listeners, and then I got one more for myself, and then we'll go to see if you guys got any more. This one's from Pat. He says NXT call-ups this year: Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Tiffany Stratton, and Kiana James. I'm going to make it short and sweet. Banger. I think all of them are ready to make that next step. Kiana James is kind of like Elias to me. It kind of works in NXT, but I feel like it'd be better suited on the main roster. Tuck, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Kiana James is the fourth out of that list for me. I don't think that's much of a stretch. I'll go banger. I could see all of them.
You can fuck with that.
Get up there, yeah.
Yeah, Robbie's gonna fuck with that too. He said banger. Ian, what do you think?
I'm going banger as well. I don't know much about Kiana James, like in all honesty, but the first three on that list, absolutely. I think Tiffany Stratton is somebody that can make an impact on the women's singles roster. Braun Breaker and Carmelo they're kind of on this weird path. Just how hot the men's roster is. It's kind of weird.
Plateaued.
As in,
I feel like the hype for the call up isn't what it once was.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I think that gives big strides to what the men's roster and the main roster really, how hot they are. I mean, they could fit into a faction, but other than that, it's kind of hard. Stick Carmelo with the, what is it called? It's street business, whatever they are. I think he'd be a good fit with them. Just kind of sit back in the back and learn. Braun Breaker, not really sure where he'd fit, if I'm being completely honest.
I think Braun Breaker can, insert himself into the mid-card title picture right away. But he's doing some cool stuff with Corbin now in the Dusty Classic. Yeah. Tiffany Stratton's having a fantastic feud with Fallon Henley right now. She was mucking some horse shit, which was hilarious on NXT, so go check it out if you haven't. But Pat, that's a banger for me, dog. I like that one. A couple more here. Another one from Robbie. He said Omos will be a champion in 2024. Tucky, banger or bust?
Bust.
I'm going to go bust just because he's a house show guy.
He's an attraction.
Yeah. I'm saying bust as well. I do think he goes after a title. Gunther, possibly. Could be a fun matchup. Maybe
U.S. title?
Yeah,
Intercontinental.
I genuinely don't. I don't think Logan Paul shows his face until WrestleMania, and because there is some out
He was
of
just on
WWE
SmackDown
business.
last week.
There's some out of WWE business that's kind of getting in the limelight, but that's like really diving in deep. He's scamming people. He's a piece of shit in real life.
You don't know that for
Yes,
a fact.
it is a thing. You could do some research on it. I could send you some videos if you'd like.
All right.
He's literally going.
You've been hanging out with C. Moss Dave on the Indies?
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's YouTube.
All right.
Stuff. It's YouTube drama stuff. That's the only reason I know it.
Sorry, I haven't been keeping up with the YouTube drama lately.
Not a big YouTube drama guy.
All right, we got another one from Pat. Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, and LA Knight will win gold in 2024. Ian, I'll go to you first. Banger or bust?
Bust. I think 2 out of the 3 win. I don't know who those 2 are, but I don't see all 3 win. No, I don't see all 3 winning a title.
I don't see Drew winning one.
Yeah.
I see the other 2, so I'm going to have to say bust as well. What about you, Tuck?
I say banger. 2 of them win the same title. One of them takes it from the other.
World heavyweight?
Oh no, I don't have any specific situation.
Oh, okay. I thought you were fantasy booking something there. I thought you were cooking.
just regular booking. Yeah.
Robbie says McIntyre and Knight to win them. Cody won't win one, so he's going with a bust.
Oh.
And Robbie is in agreement with you. Logan Paul is the
He
biggest
knows.
scumbag ever. But Logan Paul is also very good at this wrestling thing, and I only care about what he's doing in the wrestling ring. He's doing some good stuff. 2 more from our listeners here. We'll go back to Kine. We don't have to spend much time on this one. He said CM Punk will be fired. It's a bust for me, dog.
I say bust as well. I don't think CM Punk will feel like he can get away with the bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I think he'll be gone before something else happens. Like I don't know. I don't feel like he'll get fired.
Robbie agrees. Bust. Ian?
It's a bust, but I wouldn't be surprised. Genuinely.
I would, because I think it actually is going to work this year. One more comment from our listeners, and shout out to every single one of you that did give us some feedback. Greatly appreciated. We are on the road to the Royal Rumble. We are only 2 weeks away, which is crazy to think.
Oh, God.
So get ready for some Royal Rumble content coming your way. We usually do, what's the word, lottery, Duck, for the Rumble?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Think we can manage that again?
It's usually a close-knit social peer group.
Yeah.
But
Discord.
yeah. Early. Well, I'm just gonna have to coordinate it early.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be busy. I don't want to throw all that on you.
We shall see. I say yes.
TBD.
It's still in play. It's not hard to do. We just got to do it.
TBD. Okay. So last take coming from Pat. I'll let Tuck go first. The Rock will wrestle one match, just one, in 2024.
Bust.
Multiple or 0?
Multiple.
Maybe. Okay. SummerSlam? Are you telling us that we might see him in
I'm just-
Cleveland?
Yeah. Kind of selfishly fantasy booking for myself.
What do you think, Ian? Banger or bust?
I'm saying a banger. I think it's you go after Roman, pass the torch, even though the torch has pretty much already been passed, and that's all you need.
And that's it.
It's a banger for me, dog. Yeah, what Ian's saying. Go against Roman, and then right off into the sunset, go into the Hall of Fame. You've already accomplished everything that you needed to accomplish. My last prediction, I don't think it's a hot take by any means, but it's something that I would personally like to see. And I'm going to say that Seth Rollins turns heel in 2024. Banger or bust, Tucky?
While holding gold,
No.
like loses gold, turns heel.
Yeah,
Kind of thing.
that's what I'm thinking.
Banger.
His identity right now is the title. That's like kind of the character. So I think he could spiral after that. What do you think, Ian?
I'm going to say banger. I think he loses the title at Mania, takes a good chunk of time off throughout the year, then comes back as a heel.
He could.
Yeah, he could.
That could
he
be
definitely
it.
Could. I'll say banger.
You should definitely stick to that. By the way, apparently TNA is expected to reveal multiple new signings in the coming weeks. I saw the rumor for their big name, and somebody said Goldberg for TNA.
Oh my gosh.
I hope not.
Don't say that around Vogus.
No. For Goldberg's sake.
Yeah, it's
not.
Kind of...
I think he's still too high profile for TNA, in my opinion. Unless he does just want to mix it up. I don't know. Does his son want to get into it? His son's in high school or out of high school now.
Good call.
Is that a way? That would make sense.
Speaking of wrestlers' sons, Mark Henry's son, absolute
big boy
dog. Just won the state championship or something like that in wrestling for whatever state, I think Texas, but dog. He will be in the wrestling business soon.
That would be an interesting guy to reach out to and being a guest on a podcast, because Mark Henry talks about his son and the knowledge that and just the passion that he has for the business. He would be an interesting character to talk to for sure, especially growing up with the world's strongest man as your father. Boys, any last final predictions for you?
I have one, and I might get some hate for it again, but this was shouting back to when I said Rhea Ripley is very hard to lose the title. I think Judgment Day splits by the end of the year.
Banger. To me, there's really not that much left for them to do. Like right now, they're kind of in a comedy feud with R-Truth, so it's like they're kind of grasping at straws until Mania. So it's a banger for me. What about you, Tuck?
Yeah, banger. I could see it happening. It would make sense. Yeah.
I mean, just with Priest with the okay. No, it's just with Priest with the briefcase. It always sparks up controversy within a faction in a team. So
the briefcase stuff that they're doing right now with Damian Priest is just not fun to me. I'm getting tired of it, and I'm not getting tired of the Judgment Day by any means.
Now he's starting to look foolish with it, and I don't like that.
Any chance he cashes in on Monday? Jinder's got a title match. And they haven't announced the Rumble match yet for Seth. So why not Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest with Priest as the world champion, and Seth just wins it back in 2 weeks? Who says no?
Me.
I don't.
You don't like that?
No.
Or you just wanted to say no?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Hey, you're an honest man. That's why I like you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thanks to those that gave us some predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I thought it was a lot of fun. But here we are at this point of the show. The MVM of OTM, the most valuable mark of this week's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to the private chat. I don't need to go to the private chat. Because there was definitely a valuable mark, and his name is Robbie Collins, and new MVM of OTM. Robbie Collins.
Absolutely.
Again, hey, quick shout out to Robbie, really breaking away from Kine. I told you last week, the heel run is here.
He left the show. This is a shoot.
This
Tonight,
is a shoot, brother.
After Robbie's kicked everyone's ass in the chat, when he goes and gets something to eat, is Robbie going to sit in a booth? Is he going to sit in the bar?
No, I don't think so.
Or is he going to sit at the head of the table?
Oh! No, he didn't! That was a great delivery, by the way. I'd give that a 9 out of 10.
Left me on a cliffhanger there. I didn't know what was coming next.
Yeah.
That was good stuff right there. And the MVM speaking, he said, I'm breaking away from podcasting in general, focusing on other things for now. Hey, I respect that. You're young. You got to see what's out there.
Yeah, just get weird.
Yeah, do whatever.
Do stuff.
But there's the promo. He goes, what did I say last week? I was going to come back and get my MVM back. Great show, guys. Thank you, Robbie.
And I did it, and we'll see you.
Yeah, he started off hot, and then he's like, I got to thank everybody.
What did I say last week? Thanks, guys. It was a pleasure. Really, you guys have a great week.
He's a good tweener.
Yeah,
playing that tweener side right now.
That's exactly what it is. But boys, I don't have anything else. So Tucky, if you don't mind sending us home, the floor
2
is yours.
weeks away from the Royal Rumble. Will my son be the first entrant, the 31st entrant? People, that's a whole different lottery in and of itself. But it is a great time to be a wrestling fan, interested in the New Japan show this weekend and TNA. I don't know that I'm going to be spending $60, but I think I will watch the New Japan show. I think that card looks good. And then watching the places you've been, I watched the show in that venue last year, so that's where I'm spending my time. Hope you guys have a good weather weekend as it
not gonna be great
on its way. So hunker down. We're sending you what we just got. So
can't wait.
Yeah,
thanks.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it's back to school tomorrow for old Tuck Piece. So
yeah, get in there.
Are you guys watching either of the shows this weekend?
We have Aaron's 30th birthday party on Saturday, so we will not be watching a lot of 30th birthday parties from my friends.
Yeah,
they all end up being shit shows.
Yeah, well, be safe, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, visit onthemarkwrestlingpodcast.com. Get all your merch needs, including that tapestry right behind Gags in the back there.
Pigskin Project loved that, by the way. I was on their podcast last night, and they're like, "That is terrific." I go, "Hey, that's what I do."
And if you want to be popping large, you need to get one of those tapestries for your wall, no doubt. I think that's it. I got nothing else to say. Make sure you visit at @mainevent_net, the Main Event Wrestling Network, and if you're interested in creating some content, DMs are open. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling
Podcast.